Okay, let me go ahead and open up episode 50. So this is what it looked like before I had done any additional work to it. So I've went ahead and done the noise reduction, and I have also done, of course, the main editing part. I've cut a whole bunch of stuff out. We are way shorter than it used to be, even though this is ended up being a longer episode. Anyway, that is off topic. Now, the first thing that I do, nope, those are already highlighted. So I'm going to reselect all of them. And then the first effect that I do is the filter curve. So it's this one. Now, because I've used it already, it's still set to that currently, but go factory resets. And the first thing I do is this 100 hertz rumble. It removes a lot of just kind of background noise and all of that good stuff. This one runs really pretty quickly. It doesn't take it that long to run, even though it's a fairly long episode and I'm doing all three at the same time. Of course, I have a pretty awesome CPU and that helps too. Now, after doing the 100 hertz rumble, you'll see some of those red lines were gone. Everywhere where you see those red lines, that's a place where the audio is currently clipping, and I have that turned on right here. I just like to be able to see it and see what's going on with the waveform. Then, after I do that, I go in and run the compressor. I stick with the standard, the default presets. They seem to do a pretty good job there. This one takes just a little bit longer to run. And by the time this one gets done, it should cut down a few more of those clipping places. But after I run the loudness normalize, we'll see a lot more clipping happening through there. They'll be red all over the place. So now see, it's pretty much gone except for this one little spot right there. It's cleaned up quite a bit of the audio so far, just bringing it more up to, of course, the same all the way around. And then I do the loudness normalize. This is the preset that during that class that I took, they said is best for mono podcast. So because we're not recording in stereo, everybody's in mono. This is the preset that it says to use for perceived loudness. It does analyze all of those individually, and it really doesn't take too long to do. Okay, yeah, see all of the red that just showed up. If I would have done this and then left it, it would sound crazy bad because there's clipping all over the place. So that's why this last tool I think is super awesome. That is this limiter right here. You can use the soft limiter or the hard limiter. I prefer the soft limiter just because I don't know, they both sound good. It just leaves your waveform a little more curvy. I guess I like a little more curvy. Still sounds pretty good. So because our music stops right at this -6 mark, whatever this is on the loudness meter. Anyway, because our music hits there, I also want the audio from the podcast to be limited to the -6 dB. And I'll go ahead and run this one. This really doesn't take too long to do either, though I think it's one of the longer processes that I have going on when running this. Ta-da, all done. And now look at these super pretty waveforms that we have all across the podcast. Looks so much different than it did at the very beginning. If I zoom in here, I mean, we still have, louder and quieter parts as it is when people talk, but it's so much more consistent. Nobody's clipping anymore. I was way quiet and your input was really loud. That completely opposites on the spectrum, and now everybody's nice and even all the way across the board. Sounds great. At least it's been working really good. I think it sounds pretty good. But if you have any suggestions on maybe how it could sound better or whatever, let me know. I'm open to learning and figuring different things out as it goes along.